Right. Hello, everyone. My name is Aman Master. Today we have with us Tania. So, Tania, could you tell us something about yourself and your current role?
Hi, Aman. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Tania, and I'm a food safety consultant based in Vancouver. I have a company called Assured Food Safety Consulting. We help food businesses in writing food safety plans and get them certified for HACCP, GFSI such as SKF, PRC, FSCC. We also provide accredited HACCP certificate courses to students, graduate professionals, as well as people who want to grow in the food safety industry.
So, what inspired you to follow this route?
I have been doing this my whole life. So my master's is in food science. Then when I moved to Canada, I did one diploma in Centennial Biotech. And then I started working as QA technician, moved to HACCP coordinator, worked as a CFI inspector, then switched back to private industry, QA manager, and then in vegan company in seafood, started doing freelancing. So throughout my whole career, this is what I've been doing. And now I'm really passionate about it. I didn't think when I started it, I was, but now I would say along the career, along my journey, it pushed me. And even personally, I felt so much significance of having proper food safety regulations that any company needs to follow and why they need to be compliant, how foodborne illnesses outbreaks are affecting so many people, not in Canada, all around the world. I think this is something that gave me, and I am a lot of a motivated and, some purpose driven person. If there is something, a purpose behind it, I just want to do that. So I feel passionate. If my work is making someone's life better, I would feel happy. And I think this is something we are doing because we are helping a lot of food businesses right now in Canada and USA just through this. And this is what keeps us going.
So, would you say that your time in Centennial influenced anything in your career direction?
When I was in Centennial College, I definitely learned a lot of technical skills. When you're a food safety consultant, of course, there is a business side of, but you can only start a business if you're confident enough for your technical skills. So Centennial did help a lot to build those technical skill in me, and then the soft skills we had, the English classes we had, then how to communicate in the class, how to give presentation. Today, as a food safety consultant, I have to give so many trainings, right? On-site training, virtual training sessions. If I haven't done it at that time in Centennial College, making all those presentations and presenting it to so many people, I don't think I would have that confidence today to present myself. I think Centennial education has pushed me to move forward towards and gave me that platform and confidence to speak about food safety and other topics.
Are there any memorable experiences you've had?
I have a lot of moments, but one of the moment is it's not a good one though. So there was this professor, I won't name, and I was always late to her class. Always. I don't know, something would always happen. Either it's a snow or my roommate would make me late, like something. And every single time I would be late in her class. And couple of times she let me enter, but one day I think it was 8 o'clock was her class, 8 a.m. And I entered 8:03 and she didn't let me in. I was so embarrassed in the whole class. I was the only person. She kicked me out. After that, I never got late from her class. I think that is something that taught me a lesson that no, I'm supposed to respect other people's time too. I've been late enough and she has given me enough chances. But now is something I have to step back, realize it that okay, I cannot take other person for granted. This is not a good memory. This is not a bad memory, but this is something that taught me a good lesson, I would say.
After graduating, what was your journey like in pursuing a position in a career?
So, when I completed my diploma, I was working as a cashier in a Popeyes restaurant based in Mississauga. And I started applying for, I'm sorry, as first I applied for my work visa. There was a 3 month wait. I got my work visa. As I got it, I've simultaneously started applying jobs, full-time jobs as QA technician, QC, sanitation technician, regulatory positions. So I applied a lot of jobs. And then within 3 months, I got my first interview at Ready to Eat Poultry Plant, Pinty's Delicious Food based in Oakville. And I went for the interview. I used to live in Scarborough.
Mm.
and a job was in Oakville. So I took Uber for the interview. But once I got into it, I used to take bus, then train, then another bus, and then that's how I got into my job. But my career, when I started, my first job was in a ready to eat poultry plant as a QA technician, where I used to pre op in the morning at 4 o'clock. They're big fryers, 3-story freezers. And it was very challenging environmentally, especially when you grew up in 40 degrees, then you move to this country where temperature is so low, and then you're working in freezers and where you which you have never done. I haven't done that in my country ever. Like, not in my country, I would just say never done in any other jobs before. So never done that. That was the first experience as a QA tech. It was definitely not easy, but I learned a lot from that.
What was the most challenging?
I think reaching at 4 o'clock was very challenging for me. Even though I am an early morning person, I like to do stuff early morning. I'm not a person who like to work after 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. But that is more of me now. But at that point, maybe I was just starting my career. So for reaching at 4 a.m. was difficult. But other than that, what difficult was to work with so many different type of people, like different departments. You have to work with sanitation, maintenance, quality, plant, a plant manager, food safety, basically HACCP coordinator, and all of them. So when you are going out of college with no prior experience in any food processing facility, how do they work? And of course, everything is not black and white. There is a lot of gray stuff that you only learn with time, right? So when I entered into that industry, what I started learning is how to deal with CFI, how to deal with the auditors, how to work with sanitation, how to work with maintenance, how as a QA, if I need to get some stuff done, suppose a maintenance item, then if the my maintenance guy is not in the mood, what should be my tone? How should I talk to that person to get my work done? So this is something very challenging that we don't realize at early age, that okay, it would be easy, I'll ask that person will do it. No, when you have to deal with a lot of people, and you have to make sure that they are also understanding quality and food safety as you are, that was the toughest part of the job.
Are there any skills or knowledge that helped you?
I think, as I said earlier, speaking, speaking up, like when I was in Centennial or even in my master's degree, we used to have a lot of presentations in front of people. That gave me a lot of confidence to speak, uh, because you have to do a lot of trainings when you're working in food industry, right? Even as a QA, if there is any deviation on the floor, my manager or QA director would ask me to go on the floor and talk with people, interview them, investigate, write a non-conformance report. So communication skills that we learned in school, and then really helped me a lot in starting my career as a QA technician in the industry. And then another skill, I would say, of course, technical skills help us a lot, and that we need to have. We shouldn't be just doing assignments in college just for the sake of assignments. We have to understand the value, especially if we want to work in the lab, or you want to work, someone who write food safety program, then you have to understand the scientific side, microbiology point of view, because you have to do your hazard analysis, critical control points, all of that. And you can only do that once you understand the technical science behind it, that why these things I need to take in care of. So communication skills. Then another thing I would say, networking is very, very important as well, because if you don't network with people, there are two types of people, right? Introvert and extrovert, and it is okay. World is open for all of them. There is no problem. But you have to know that to get the right opportunity, to be at the right place, and then talk with them. You have to talk. It's the world where you have to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get anything. So this is very, very important. These are the very important things I learned when I was in school. Of course, few of the things I learned along when I started working, the importance of it. We always knew in the pay books that these things are important. But when I actually walked into the industry and started working, that's when I realized, okay, these are really important.
Would you say you're an introverted or an extroverted person?
I'm extrovert. I always talk. So I was never an introvert. The
Mm.
only thing I would say about myself is I'm from a very small town from India. And even though I studied in CBSE, English was not something I was speaking while growing up. We used to speak our mother language, which I'm very proud of. But when I moved out, English is something which is very, very significant in even in India or even here, it's very, very important. So I always had little bit nervousness behind in my head, like subconsciously, oh, I would speak wrong grammar, I would say some wrong word, I would fumble. And today, even I still fumble. But I have accepted and I have improved myself a lot along the way. So I would say that is something that makes me sometimes introvert if I see a lot of people who are speaking good in English, and then I'm like, okay, and maybe I don't want to talk. But I learned that slowly. No, I don't do that anymore. I just go speak, talk with people. I've even now in Vancouver, I've been to so many networking events where I am the only one from our community. People see, they try to ignore, but I walk in and I talk, I introduce myself, I give them my business card, and I talk with them. Because this is what I have learned. If you don't have confidence and if you can't talk about what you do confidently about yourself, this world, it's not going to happen, it's not going to work the way today the world is designed. So you have to go out, you have to talk with people, you have to show what you are doing and why you are better, what skills you have, what you have learned, all of that.
Can you walk us through what a typical day for you is like?
My typical day, I start my day around 4:35. So I wake up usually 4:30, 4:45. Then I have some morning things I do, like journal. I know these things sound a little bit cheesy for people. Oh, she does write journal and all, but it's true. I do that because it keeps me calm. So I do write a journal. I listen to some spiritual music. I'm really into, I believe in God a lot. And then I would take shower, quick breakfast, start my day. Emails would be the first thing I would be doing in the morning. If I have to visit any client for any pre-op inspection or sanitation review, they need me, then I'm at the facility by 7 o'clock, 6 or 7 o'clock, sometimes even at 5. But if I am not working in any facility in the morning, then I'll be replying to my emails and starting my day through with some HACCP plan or writing SOP and looking for the audit inspections. Then around 9 or 10, I would book my day to visit a client. I usually try to do 2 to 3 visits per week to see different companies and see different facilities. And around 2:33, I finish my day, go to gym, come home, spend time with my family, cook for them. It's only me and my husband. So I cook for my husband, myself, watch something Netflix. I also like to read. I recently joined a book club my friend started. So now I'm part of that book club. I'm trying to catch up with a lot of people because I always like to read books, but with this consulting and busy, a lot of where you have to put a lot of brain. After that, you don't want to read any other book. But what I've realized, reading those different books, other than what I do day to day, has helped me a lot in growing as a person as well. So this is a typical day to day look like for me.
It's packed. It's really packed.
I missed my schedule. I missed my meeting for you today. I'm joking.
I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
No, I'm
So,
joking. Thank you.
yeah, what advice would you offer to our current centennial students?
Grab the opportunities. Don't be picky. There are not that many in this world, especially right now with the economy, with the inflation. Don't say no. I know a lot of people, this is what happened with me. A lot of people ask me, oh, we're vegetarian. We don't want to work in meat industry or pork industry. No, it's just a job. Nobody's going to ask you to eat it. So please don't say no to any opportunity, because if it's something is non-vegetarian or it's a night shift or it's early morning shift, we all have done all of them. If you will ask any of the people, not only me, a lot of my classmates, they were vegetarian, they worked in pork industry, beef, chicken, everything, then worked as night sanitation QAs, which is very, very hard to do. I really appreciate or applaud all of those people who does that. And never say no to anything. And number two, ask, talk with people, network, and ask. There is nothing wrong in asking. You can ask 5 times, 10 times, 100 times. If you won't ask, people won't even know that you're there because there are so many, right? There are so many students, graduates. I was one of them too. So you always, if you want to shine out, you want to grow in your career, you have to ask. Talk to your professors, talk to alumni, talk to your co-workers, talk to your friends, family, everyone where you know that okay, this is the person I can learn something from. Always ask, take their advice. And number 3, there are a lot of good podcasts around food safety. If you want to actually grow in QA or food safety field, I would say students or anybody who wants to grow in this career, they should definitely listen to podcast, because that keeps you up to date what's going in the industry. And when you go for interviews, that the confidence that you have because you already know a lot of information push you a little forward. So this is something I would like to suggest.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving such wonderful answers. That will be all for the questions. And I'm I apologize again for taking your time. And I appreciate that you have participated in this interview. And again, thank you again very much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Aman, for taking your time to speak with me. And then all the best for your future as well. I wish you and all the Centennial students to grow and glow and shine. And yeah, if any, I just want to add one thing. If anybody wants to have any career consulting, they want to talk with me, they're more than welcome to reach out to me on my email that you have. So it's tani@assuredfoodsafety.ca. You can always email me, and there are no charges. You can talk with me about your career, and if I can help you, I would definitely. Yeah.
Definitely. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you again very much.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Mm.
day.
You too.